Well, thanks so much, Rhiannon, our fantastic candidate for Longman. This is my third visit to this urgent care clinic here. This is one of the 87 that we've opened right around the country. They've seen more than 1.3 million Australians, giving them the care they need when they need it. When they walk in here, all they need is this, their Medicare card. That is all that you need to get the service you need when you need it from an urgent care clinic. And we're going to open another 50, including another one just down the road, so that 8 out of 10 Australians will be within 20 minutes of an urgent care clinic. But that's not all that we're doing. We already increased hospital funding by $1.7 million, part of what the coalition call waste. We have, of course, our 800 Medicare line will open next year on the 1st of January. That will ensure that people can pick up the phone if your child is sick overnight, or if an elderly mum or dad or grandfather or grandmother you need advice about them. You can pick up the phone, dial a number 24/7 and get advice from a registered nurse, and they can then refer you, if need be, for advice from a GP, or can, in other circumstances, recommend more urgent action. Our commitment to healthcare is comprehensive. Our commitment to strengthening Medicare is comprehensive as well, with our tripling of the bulk billing incentive for all 27 million Australians, following our tripling of the bulk billing incentive that we did for concession card holders. That has resulted in more than 90% of concession card holders being able to be bulk billed. It's just part of what Labor governments do, make a difference, whether here at an urgent care clinic concentrating on health, whether it be the school that I was at yesterday with better and fairer funding for every school, whether it be free TAFE, where we were in Adelaide last night, making a difference, putting people through, whether it be construction or through areas such as the care sector. Now, there's a lot at stake in the election to be finalised tomorrow, but where people will vote over the next day and then tomorrow. There is a lot at stake. If you look at the coalition's costings yesterday, they have managed to have quite an extraordinary trifecta. They stand for higher income taxes, they stand for higher deficits, but they also stand for savage cuts. Now, we know where some of those cuts will be. Cuts to just about every program of climate change, cuts to free TAFE, cuts to, remarkably, paid prac for nurses, for teachers going through their course. It is extraordinary that paid prac hasn't been dealt with before. People who are engaged and want to be a registered nurse, we need more of them. And paying them just the Austudy rate is the least that people can do to encourage people to go in these areas where we have shortages. I mean, what on earth are these people thinking? Savage cuts across the board. The 41,000 public servants, of course, include people in the health department and the education department, where the coalition have said that they don't understand why you need people in health and education, given are these people thinking. But there's savage cuts across the board. The 41,000 public servants, of course, include people in the health department and the education department, where the coalition have said that they don't understand why you need people in health and education, given the Commonwealth doesn't run hospitals. That's their quote, what they have said. Well, the Commonwealth does run Medicare. The Commonwealth does run funding for our schools systems as well, particularly, of course, we're a significant provider of funds for private schools, as well as funding public schools through state governments. So our plan is clear. Over the next 24 hours, you'll be travelling over to Tasmania and then to Victoria, and then I'll be in New South Wales, putting our clear plan for building Australia's future. A tax cut for every taxpayer, 20% cut in HECS debt for every student and everyone who has a HECS debt, those 3 million Australians. 5% deposits for first home buyers, making more things here in Australia, better and fairer funding for schools, and of course our plans to strengthen Medicare, or their plans for cuts and chaos. Peter Dutton is asking to receive a mandate in tomorrow's election without having a coherent plan that has lasted more than 3 days. But he wants 3 years. 3 years of returning the leftovers of the Morrison government to somehow go through 3 years when they have not gone through a single week of this campaign where they have not flipped and flopped. You know, on education curriculum, if anyone here knows what their position is, good luck. They had 3 positions in a day. In one day. They were for it, against it, for it, I think they are now. They wrote the curriculum, by the way. It's their curriculum. And they can't even have, after 5 years, an idea of whether they supported that curriculum or not. The last time the coalition came to office, they said no cuts to health, no cuts to education, no cuts to the ABC. To be fair, they've put out savage cuts to education already. To be fair, they have described the ABC as hate media, so one could expect, therefore, that there will be savage cuts there. And on health, they've just been all over the shop. But they can't be trusted. Peter Dutton, the last time he was the health minister in an incoming government, he tried to abolish bulk billing altogether. That is just a fact. He cut $50 billion from hospitals. That is just a fact. He tried to introduce a payment every time people visited an emergency department. That is just a fact. Peter Dutton said, if you want to look at future performance, look at what people have done in the past. That is also, in his own words, a fact. So we stand putting our views before the Australian people. We have run a solid campaign where we have put out policies for the future now for many, many months for all to see, for all to scrutinise. The coalition have not put a hole in any of those plans, whether it be the ones we announced last year, the ones in the March budget, the ones that were funded, of course, through PFO, or since then as well. Australians have a choice, building a better future, or going back, which is what their slogan, to be fair to them, says they want to do.